Here are the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. At least 10 more personalities will be facing murder charges over the killing of radio commentator Percy Lapid and the alleged mastermind Villamor. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla said the additional charges will be filed on Monday. Remulla did not disclose any names of the additional suspects in the case or if there are any government officials involved. The DOJ said that there are at least 2 to 3 personalities who are very high in the chain. He said the new complaints would be different from the existing murder charges being heard by the DOJ in connection with Lapid's case. Meanwhile, the remains of Villamor will be transported to his home province in late tomorrow. The elevated inflation rate is seen to persist toward the end of the year, but will likely to decelerate in 2023. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas said the high inflation rate in the country may decelerate next year due to the easing of global oil and non-oil prices, negative base effects from transport fare adjustments in 2022, and the BSP's cumulative policy rate adjustments. However, the BSP said risks will remain on the upside next year and may broadly balance in 2024. The latest inflation rate of 7.7% remains within the central bank's 7.1 to 7.9% projection. A teenager has apologized for vandalizing school property at an evacuation site in Muntinlupa during the onslaught of severe tropical storm Pna. Muntinlupa Mayor Rufi Viazon said the person who was identified as an out-of-school youth has already apologized. The youth will undergo community service and receive assistance in returning to school. Viazon earlier took to social media to complain about the damage left by evacuees who took shelter at Kupang Senior High School. Viazon learned that the evacuees had destroyed a blackboard in the classroom they used. Large amounts of garbage were also left behind in the school. In sports, Filipino jiu-jitsu athlete Maggie Ochoa won her second world championship at the 2022 JJIF World Jiu-Jitsu Championships in the United Arab Emirates. Ochoa defeated Canada's Vicky Wong Nini in the finals to rule the women's adult 48-kilogram category. Ochoa became the country's first ever world champion in jiu-jitsu back in 2018. Kimberly Ann Custodio won the country's first gold this year after beating Thailand's Pecharada KZ Tan in the women's adult 45-kilogram category. Team Philippines won 2 golds to finish 4th overall behind hosts UAE, Canada, and Germany in the final rankings of the adult jiu-jitsu category. With travel restrictions and mask mandates easing up, the tourism industry is gradually gaining back its vibrance. Winning on this key target of the Marcos administration are locals relying on the tourism sector, with foreign arrivals hitting higher numbers than expected. Here's my report. It's more fun in the Philippines. This is undeniably one of the promising advantages of the country when it comes to tourism. And with the Marcos administration gearing up to boost the industry in the post-pandemic setup, locals relying on tourism now gradually step toward recovery. One of them is 31-year-old Jembet Bello, a single mom of 7 kids on Boracay Island in Aklan. And with a huge number of tourists coming into Boracay Island, Bello can't help but be delighted as she graces her skill in hair braiding.
Malaki talaga yung tulong niya, ma'am, kasi ito talaga yung hanap buhay dito sa Boracay, ma'am, yung turismo po.
Bello can earn as much as 3,500 during peak season, charging local or foreign tourists at least 200 pesos depending on chosen styles. She has mastered the skill for 9 years to ensure a decent living for her children.
Ito din kasi yung pinagkukuha namin ng pambili ng pagkain na araw-araw kasi ano siya, ma'am, malaking tulong talaga siya para sa pamilya.
With the Philippine tourism garnering great interest, locals like her maintain their hopes to recover from the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic. Likewise, crystal kayak photographer Marvin Secapaño recalls how the vibrancy of tourism has helped him personally.
Siyempre, ma'am, nakagawa na ako ng bahay. Nakapagkasal na rin ako, ma'am. Nasal na rin. Yun lang. Tapos,
Ayan.
ipon-ipon konti.
The recent long holiday season even helped him bag an average of 1,000 to 1,500 per day earnings. But with current health protocols easing up, Sakapanyo called to the government and tourists to ensure the protection of their cherished island.
Ano na lang nila ma'am. Maintain na lang nila yung turista ma'am. Saka yun, dapat araw-araw talaga malinis yung Boracay na.
With the optimistic sense of the Marcos administration, the Department of Tourism poses confidence that the industry shall remain prioritized. The Philippines has already surpassed 1.7 million pegged international arrivals. Before October ended, the DOT recorded over 1.8 million foreign arrivals. For the Pna Newsroom, I am Stephanie Sevillano. That's the latest on the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We're also shown on the social media pages of the Office of the Press Secretary and Radyo Pilipinas RP1. I'm Stephanie Sevillano. We tell stories that inspire change.